Welcome to Illuminating Truths. Give it up for Classic Roots. Give it up for the dancers. My name is Zoe Roy. They're going to clap for everything.
Everything, eh? And then bonjour, Naomi Johnston.
Welcome to Illuminating Truths, bridging generations to reconciliation. You guys are good. Today's event is meant to pay homage to our relatives who endured Canada's residential school era and to recognize the way in which they've transcended that experience to allow us all to be here today.
Miguel. And we are your hosts. I'm going to introduce myself in the language, my original language. That language is Anishinaabe-Moan. It's the language of the Anishinaabe, and I'll transcribe my best into English. Ananabojo, which conseil me gizel, dishnikas, me gwense sakini dodem, ne ashikini ming, ne donjaba, me mwatikaranto, ne donjaba. My name is Naomi Johnston. My spirit name is Whistling Eagle, so I go by Migize for short, which is Eagle. And I am, really happy to be here today and to share this special day with everyone. I'm a visual artist. If I did all the art that you're going to be seeing over the evening, or the day. And I'm also a visual storyteller and a traditional storyteller. And I'm just really, humbled and proud to be here to share this special day with you all. Miigwech.
Tanse etlanete Zoe Roy Nisigasun Muskigi Nigmon Isqueo. My name is Zoe Roy. I'm Cree Dene, half-breed Métis from northern Saskatchewan. I call Saskatoon home. My spirit name is Muskigi Nigamon Isqueo. It translates to medicine song woman. My favorite thing to do is to find out how songs reveal the medicinal properties of us all. I'm a member of Peter Ballantyne Cree Nation. I'm a spoken word poet, a teaching artist, a PhD student. I've been in school for 29 years. Thanks. She just doesn't give up. I'm a mother, a daughter, an auntie, and I'm a partner. And I'm the producer of today's show.
I want to start in a good way by acknowledging the land. Many of us here are guests to this land that we're gathering on. I want to recognize that this is the territory of the Anishinaabe, the Huron-Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the land that is home now to the Métis. And most recently, the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, who are direct descendants of the Mississaugas of the Credit, also known as the Mishisakin Anishinaabe-Akin. Miigwech.
Yeah, so if you've been listening, you will know that Niall is the Anishinaabe, so this is his home territory. Am I right?
It's part. I'm actually from the Sakin territory, which is, anybody know where Shelburne is? So Shelburne north all the way to the tip of the Bruce Peninsula. We're the Sakin, and as soon as we come down here, Mishisakin.
Yeah, so
Relatives, cousins, aunties, uncles, yeah.
There's going to be a bunch of teachings today. I hope you're here for it. Are you here for it? Good. I can feel it. Our first speaker is Peter Schuler, a grandfather, a knowledge keeper of the Mississaugas of the Credit.
He's here to set the tone for us, to remind us of the importance of this moment, and welcome you all to this beautiful territory.
Yeah. Please welcome Peter Schuler.
Bonjour. Je suis bien indigo, Michigan to them, Mississauga, Ojibwe, Anishinaabe, and Dao. And if you haven't guessed, I'm old. So normally they just let me ramble on, but today they say you only got X number of minutes. So I have to get my phone out, mark the X, and start talking. I don't normally bring paper or things to read, but something told me this morning, bring this book. We're talking about truth and reconciliation, and we're talking about the time of residential schools, and even further back of all kinds of harms that came to our people. In 2010, well, I better tell you my Anishinaabe name. It means man who writes, but I don't really write, I take dictation. And in 2010, these words came to me, and I wrote them down. Do you want to be an Indian? Nobody asked me if I wanted to be an Indian, I just was. That's what my dad told me, I just was. My grandmother, she just was too. So I don't understand why it is you're asking me, do I want to be an Indian? Now you want to change the question so I will understand. Do I want to be recognized as an Indian? The Creator recognizes me. You recognized me, didn't you? So who is it that doesn't recognize me? The government, you say. What does he look like, that one who doesn't recognize me? He has many faces, you say. Must be kind of strange to have more than one face. Probably confuses a lot of people. How can you make a deal with someone who has more than one face? Maybe one of his other faces will recognize me. I need a status card, you say, to be recognized by the one with all the faces. He recognizes the card, you say. Okay, I will do it. I will get the card. Where do I get it? From the government, you say. The one with all the faces, he will give it to me, the one who doesn't recognize me. Then he will recognize me. No, he will recognize the card. A year later, these words came to me. Being an Indian. In the white world, being an Indian is easy, as long as you're trying to be a white man. As soon as you cease to try to be white, you don't fit in. You become visible. You attend ceremony. You take time from work, practice your ways. Your white boss sees you. You are visible. You are unreliable. Elders see you come to ceremony. You are visible. You are reliable. They begin to teach you to think like the ancestors. You begin to see. Your blood begins to remember. Your white boss says, better not take any more time off. Jobs are scarce. In the white world, being an Indian is easy as long as you try to be a white man. That's been my experience. And so when we have reconciliation, we have to start off by recognition. The government has long recognized us. They put us on reserves. They put us in residential schools. They made Indian hospitals where wasn't quite up to par with the rest of the hospitals. They did all of those things. And there's a man here who's going to be coming up here sometime during this program. And I remember when he first started to advocate for those who had went to residential school. And he worked hard. And he worked a long time and gathered others around him to get that recognition. And I want to tell you something that I believe. I believe that the government is not going to fix this. I believe they will if you recognize us. If it becomes not hard to be an Indian. Your generations can change that. And all we need to do is to educate each other, learn the true history of Canada, and try to make change, make amendments. And people will say, I wasn't the one who did those things. And I say, if you carry on the objectives of your ancestors or those who were here before, even if you just got here from another place, if you carry out those other objectives, then you're just the same as the one who did that in the first place. And I have faith that you don't want to be that person, that you don't want to be the one who causes harm, and that you want a fair world, a fair Canada, and a place where you're proud to come from and proud to say you're Canadian. I'm proud to say I'm Anishinaabe. I don't care ever to be a Canadian. We were here first. This is Anishinaabe Aki. This is Anishinaabe land. And we offered to share it with you. It wasn't shared in the way we had intended. But nonetheless, we are where we are today. And we have to make change. And we have to make it better. And I have faith that this will happen. So, Chimigwich, enjoy the show.
Thank you, Peter, for opening us up in the good way. And what a powerful message, right? Truth and reconciliation are loaded words. We keep talking about it. You might hear about it in your classrooms, on the news, in our everyday lives, but we especially talk about it around this time of year. But these are loaded words, truth and reconciliation. Like how each of us have bundles, words have bundles too.
Our next speaker, Maria Campbell, is an author, a playwright, and a visionary who sees the potential in all of us. She wanted to be here today. Instead, we put together this video with her with a message that is just for all of you. Please show some love for Maria Campbell.
So imagine an auditorium filled with 1,300 students from all across the world. A lot of these students come to Canada, they join our school systems, they participate in our society, and they hear these words, truth and reconciliation. They're loaded words, and a lot of us don't really know what they mean. So when you think about reconciliation, what comes to mind?
What comes to mind for me is language. And in our language, there's really no word for reconciliation. There's, things go wrong. You and I meet and everything falls apart, and whatever. And And then we decide, we really like each other maybe, or maybe we don't like each other, but we have to come together. And in our language, as I said, there's no word for that, but there is a word called Kweskastasuin, and the closest translation for that would be conciliation. How do you come together in a good way? And that's, you have to put things to right. And you can't put things to right if there's not truth. So when I think of truth and reconciliation, I think that the most important word is truth, and that the second most important word is Kweskastasuin, to put that truth to right.
You talk about rights and responsibilities. How does this connect?
Yeah, because again, when we look at our language, I'm talking about my language, but there's not much difference in other languages. Do we have that word in our language? Because we're Indigenous people of this land. Everything, our perspective, our worldview, everything is of this place. It comes from our landscape. It comes from our relationships with each other, and the laws and all of those things that are foundational, that have built our world, and built our world until outsiders came in, and in this case, it's settler society. So when we're looking, I believe, for ways to heal ourselves, or to find ways to live together with settlers or with new people coming in, then we need to really be honest about our history. And history is wonderful. It's full of beautiful stories. When we think of reconciliation, we only hear stories that take our power away, because they're so horrific. Colonization is horrific. It kills people, it robs people of their dignity, of everything, not just their land.
So colonialism didn't start here. It's impacted people all over the world. How do you see it as an opportunity to come together?
So when we think about reconciliation, those are the things that we hear about. And I believe that as young people, like I have great-grandchildren, I don't want my great-grandchildren to just hear the horror and the evil of colonization. I want them to hear stories that will empower them. And there's lots of those stories, that are, to me, part of Kweskastasuin, putting it to right. And an example of that is my great-grandmother. I think about my great-grandmother who wouldn't speak English, never had anything to do with settler people, but she was a midwife, and one of her closest friends was an old woman who was Mennonite. Didn't speak her language. That old lady spoke Low German. But my grandmother had trouble delivering a baby one day, so she called on her to help, because there was nobody else around. And this old lady came. A long story short, her and my grandmother became best friends. And neither one of them spoke each other's language, and neither one of them spoke English. They were both really old. And they were best friends and talked to each other all the time in their own languages. So, so when I hear a story like that, and I think about the story of Mennonites moving into our community, in the 1920s, and how, they were so in disregard of the people who were there, and the people were pushed out off of their homelands and became displaced and dispossessed. The very same thing that happened to Mennonite people. That's why they moved there. I think about, how awful that was from my perspective, because our houses were burned down, people were chased away, there was all kinds of ugly things. And that led to a history of really horrible things for our people. And when I hear that, it makes me really angry, it makes me really depressed. But when I heard the story, I knew this old lady, but I never thought about it until my dad reminded me one day. And that gave me something good to look at and made me feel good, and I wrote a story about it. And it was it put things to right for me because it took away the really deep anger I had, and I was able to look at their history, at mine, and it helped me to understand better what colonization does to people, and what when you try to take people's religion and all of their precious things away from them, what happens.
Yeah.
And in Canada, when you think about new people coming in, all of us have been displaced or dispossessed. At least today, that's what's happening to people. You just got to look around you. People are looking for a safe place to raise their families, and I'm sure they were back then.
That's my superhero. Yeah. Our next speaker is a survivor, a storyteller, an advocate, and a champion for his peers. He walked through the doors of residential school, but he's so much more.
In this short video, you will hear about the impacts of his experience. He speaks for a purpose, and this is to tell you all about his dream.
Please give a warm welcome for Geronimo Henry.
Let's just start with a basic introduction.
Yeah, but well, here's the things, like I could just, introduce my name and survivor and that, or else I could say, like, to make it more exciting, it says, I am a survivor of the Mohawk Residential School, and my name is Jerome Henry. Spent 11 years at the school. And today, we are actually at the school to do this video. My mom heard about this school, so she wrote a letter to the Department of Indian Affairs and asked if she could bring her kids up here. So that's how we got here in 1942. And I left in 1953. So when we got here, like, my mom had to hire a car, rent a car to bring us here. My mom had to sign us kids over to the school. The kids kind of know when something's not right, so we kind of like did a group hug and just hung on to our mom, and we were all kind of like crying and screaming and don't leave us here. And that's the last time I seen her, when she went out the door. And I could still hear that kind of like, how he closed the door. And that still kind of like haunts me today. That's the last time I seen my mom for 11 years. And the parents never realizing like what a place what it was really like. It was all like about assimilation and genocidal policies, and children did die at the school here. The supervisor said, we run this school by numbers. So my brother Charlie says, your number's 36 and Geronimo's number will be 48. So don't forget don't ever forget your number, because we're not going to be calling your name out, says we're just going to be calling numbers out all the time. And so we soon found out, like, we had to line up for everything. We had to line up to go for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, So you had to line up to brush your teeth, you had to line up to, have a shower. As this routine was going on all the time, day in and day out, and we kind of didn't realize, how the staff was treating us. We didn't know, probably as kids we thought, well, this is normal, everybody is treated like this, We thought like white people, black people, or whatever, And so we're Native people, so everybody's like that. Yeah, and we didn't kind of realize we were living through these abuses, like physical, mental, psychological, and even sexual abuse happened at the school here, and we didn't realize that. So I guess we just kind of thought well, everybody lives like that, because we had no outside contact of what the real world was doing out there. We were kind of like a prison atmosphere here. I think they got away with this because we weren't classified as humans back in them days. I don't think we were recognized as human beings. I don't think till about maybe the 40s, something like that, 40s or 50s. We were just, I don't know what the white society thought of us. I know, when my brother ran away, came to me one day and he says, well, I'm running away, I'm going home, and I don't like it here. And so, that was kind of like the first time I kind of started to think, do I have a real home someplace? I always thought this was my home. But anyway, kind of like the last day of school, so that would be about the third week in June. So the last day of school that we'd, as soon as the bell rang and we were dismissed, all the kids would run down to the playroom, and there was a couple of windows they could look out and see all the cars that are coming up and getting the kids. But so here I was standing at that window with the other guys, and sure enough, on the last day of school, they'd call their numbers or their name, and they'd go up to the office here, up to the front entrance, and their parents would be there. That was 11 years I'd stand at that window waiting for my mom to come and get me, but she never ever come to get me, so. Yeah, so on 11th year, so there I was again, waiting for my mom to come up and get me, or somebody, or my dad, or so. Then after about maybe, you could, maybe a couple hours or something, then you just, well, I guess they're not coming, so I just went to the play yard, playing around someplace in the yard. And this little guy, one of the guys that was staying there all year, a younger guy comes running over there. He says, hey, Geronimo, he says, there's a man and a woman that wants to see you. Yeah, so, and then I thought I was just so used to being here, not going home, and I just and who's this man and woman? I thought, well, what do they want? I said, says, I don't know. The boy says, I don't know. They want to see you. So I start walking up to see what they wanted. And here it was my brother and sister that were at the school. It wasn't my mom, it wasn't my mom or my dad. I said, Geronimo, I recognize her voice. And my brother started talking. Here, it was my brother and sister that come and got me. So I jumped in the back of the car, and we went driving down the laneway. And by that time, I started to think hey, I guess maybe hey, I'm going home now. I'm going to be leaving this darn place, And before we got to Mohawk Street, to turn onto Mohawk Street, I turned around, I looked back, and I could see out the back window, I could see that school. I could see the school, right? And then I kind of started to realize more, and started to believe, like, I'm actually going home, I'm leaving this place. Now I'm free, I'm finally free, and but I didn't realize at that time, my troubles were just starting. A little history about residential school. There was 139 of these. A little history about residential school. There was 139 of these schools right across Canada in their day, from the 1800s to 1996. So, and what I like to call them, what they were, I guess, really, is they were like assimilation schools.
Departing the grips of the state is disheartening, like shards of glass, fissures in your back to remind you of a long-lasting attack. It's like paper cuts you can't see, but you can't relax because they sting. It's an illusion that keeps resurfacing. For a long time, you've imagined getting into the swing of things, setting out to see what life can bring, charting a path where you can get back on your own land with your sisters and brothers, and where you can have a sense of peace once again. You try to spiral out of the conditioning, get inspired by the world around you, try something new every single day, lay back in the grass and let the radio play. Imagine freedom as you're listening. Get inspired by the tune of Elvis Presley and his swag when he sings his blues. So you do it too, every chance you can get. For everyone who will witness you rehearse that old set, that one that helps you forget. Take it on the road, just you and your dreams. Hitchhike just to be as free as these dreams. Play something for the people they won't see on their screens. Convince yourself it's not what it seems, that you're off to Graceland, whatever that means. That you're gonna shine, sparkle, fly, and over time it will heal your wounds on the inside. Take up the whole stage, keep them engaged all through the night so they don't look away. Show them your smile instead of your tears. Show them your talent instead of your fears. Show them your love instead of your rage. Keep up the pace, come on, keep up the pace. Oh, the memories you'll make, the friendships you'll don, moments you treasure as you keep carrying on. In a life worth remembering, something you respect. Look, you made something from your suffering that you can accept. 'Cause there were times you were helpless when they gave you their shame. You had to hold it, stay focused on the rules of the game. You felt hopeless, unopened when they took your name. You notice they're broken but can't stop feeling their pain. And it's these moments you relive frame by frame. So when you tell your story, it's more than a lifelong campaign. You reclaim your culture, instill a pride and help heal. Inspire all 6 nations to know it's now safe to feel. And know you're not alone carrying this wish, where you can get justice for all of these kids. The ones who died, who never made it home. The ones still awake, who can't fall asleep on their own. So you stay on the mic, stay on the stage. Talk to the people about why you feel rage. What happened as a child that made you afraid? Tell us the truth until you see change. Tell us what's on your mind and what's in your heart. difficult times, even when it gets hard. Geronimo, you tell us your dreams so we can dream too. Remembrance for those in Mohawk Institute, the ones in the mush hole who survived by those rules, and for all of the kids who went to residential school.
I'm telling my experience. It's more like, more to the point.
Please join me in giving me the biggest round of applause in your life for Geronimo Henry.
Thank you, guys. Wow.
Do you want this?
Yeah, I want to thank all you for coming out today. You're actually I'm here in the flesh. Yeah, so we're going to try and put in a little bit of humor in all this stuff too. But yeah, like I spent 11 years at the residential school, and that was just kind of like, what was that, 20 minutes? It kind of like of what I went through, but it was a hell of a lot longer than that. 11 years of being in like a prison for children. But we did no crime. And and just to talk a little bit about what our ceremonies are all about. You see, like, I belong to the Haudenosaunee people. We're stingy of our teachings and our way of believing. So you don't hear too much about our teachings because we're not ready yet to share them out to anybody. Because that's a sacred thing that's in our heart. And like I said, we're stingy of our teachings and our ceremonies. We don't call them service, or we don't go to church or anything, So that's why you don't hardly hear our stuff, about the Haudenosaunee stuff or the Iroquois stuff. It's not for sale. And I was just telling my friend here that's kind of looking after me today. We got a big project going on, 6 Nations, where we do our ceremonies. We're moving our longhouse, the Cayuga Longhouse. And it's been going on. We see the dates on some of the logs in there as we tear it apart. In the 1890s, our longhouse was there. And that's when we kind of went like to the white man's way of living in these square homes, I guess, But so that's why you don't hear our stuff. But our teachings or our ceremonies, because you're not even allowed into our, no white people or anybody else is allowed in our ceremonies. Because we don't want them exploited. to anybody, because that's ours. The Sequoia Distro, the Creator gave that to us. Didn't give it to anybody else. And just like what you believe in, that's yours. You know what I mean? And but like you've seen the video, and there's a lot of people going out and, you know, talking about residential school that don't know a damn thing about it, what it's like. Only a survivor should be talking about residential school. We got all these other people going out, you know, and talking. But those people, they don't know nothing unless you, like they say, walk a mile in my shoes. You wouldn't be, you know, then you can talk what it's like. And those people talking about residential school, I don't see them crying. They ain't going to bed hungry at night and getting abused with all those abuses that we suffered. The physical, mental, psychological, and of course everybody wants to hear about the sexual stuff. And that's what the church has done to our people and the government. So I guess you could say the churches were the ones that did it, because the government just kind of like did the financial part. They built the buildings, and then they'd hire the churches to go around and you know, to civilize us, like you've seen in a movie. They went ahead and took my belief away from me, these Christians. So just think about that for a second. And how would you like it if they'd done that to you? I don't think you'd like it either. They took your religion and your language away from you, and your culture. And all the crying and the loneliness that I went through, and 150 other thousand little children. And I was the one that kind of like, I drew the line in the sand, as they say. That said, I want my culture back and my language. So I was the one. You can blame me or call me down if you want to. I was the one that started the residential school lawsuit from the Brantford area, Southern Ontario. And everybody across the country was starting to sue the churches too, and the government. And that's what we were fighting for. We want our language back, and our culture, and our own ceremonies. And I think, like, if you believe in your God or whoever, Mary, whoever they are, you think that, you know, if they wanted us to believe in Christianity, well, he's the guy that made everything. You know, he made the world, made everything in the world. He would have made us Christians too, but he didn't. You know, so that's something to think about. I mean, we're living in such a fast world today. And when it comes to, like, religion and stuff, You don't even think, what it can do to you, how it can change your mind. And now we're just going to talk about reconciliation a little bit. We've got a long way to go yet. We haven't even started. We're just kind of scratching the surface about reconciliation. Although we're making inroads and, you guys are trying to do your part. But how can you give me 11 years of my suffering? How are you going to do that? How is the churches and the government going to do that? Sometimes we just have to stop and turn your cell phones off and all your technology you got and just kind of, take even one moment of silence with nothing on, which is pretty hard to do for some people, eh? And me too. I'm no exception. I got to be doing something. The radio's got to be going, or you got to be talking or texting and what do you call it and everything, and you're not even thinking about your next door neighbor. But like we're saying about reconciliation, we got a long ways to go yet, and I only got a few minutes to talk about what we can do yet. And I could just tell you just this one little story. We were invited, a bunch of us survivors were invited to meet with these church people. There were different denominations, I guess. They invited us to have something to eat, have a lunch with them. So about 6 of us went down to see, and they went to their place, and it's kind of like a neutral place. So, and we had something to eat. I guess what they would call, we broke the bread. I guess it was something like that. I think there's something in the church that I learned in 11 years of being forced to go to church, to the Mohawk church. And it's funny, how 11 years of being brainwashed into a religion like that, and now I'm walking down 2 roads, the one that the Christianity and the church has put in my brain, and then I got my Haudenosaunee way of believing, in the Creator's way. And so, and now, I guess I can go to the church or I could go to the Longhouse, either one. But anyway, so up at the Mohawk Chapel, this Barry Hill asked me if I would greet the people as they came in, since I had spent 11 years going to that church, the Mohawk Chapel. So I thought about it for a while, and finally, Barry says, "You on the phone yet? Hey, Geronimo, I don't hear you talking." No, I says, "I'm thinking." Yeah, so I says, "Yeah, I could be your greeter there. Every time you have a service, you call me up and I'll greet the people as they're coming in. But I says, I want to do it my way, like Elvis's song, and do it my way." And Barry Hill says, "What's that?" And I says, "Well, it was the church was built for the Mohawks." I says, "And all these people that are coming to the church and that, and I don't see very many Mohawks coming to this church, and everybody's coming in there with suits and ties, and the Mohawks and the people that do come there, they're dressed like white people. They come and put their best clothes on, the shirt, and the tie. And I said, well, I'm not going to be like that if I'm going to be the greeter. I says, I want to wear something native. So then Barry, he paused for a minute, and I had to kind of wake him up. I said, Barry, are you there? He says, well, I'm thinking. Okay, I said, well, what did you come up with? Well, he says, I think that's fair. You can do that. Okay, I said, that's why I'm wearing this vest today. And every time, if you ever come to the Mohawk Chapel there, and there's a service going on there, and I guess as long as I'm living, I'll be the greeter, And they'll welcome me into the church. But just to get back to this, we're invited to all these different churches, and they wanted to, they wanted to see what we thought of reconciliation. I think that's what it was all about. So we had something to eat. Like I said, we broke bread, and then after we kind of went up to another room, and we all sat there, and all the Christian people on this side and the survivors on this other side. And they said, well, so they start talking first on the Christian side, and they says, how can we help? They said, what do you want us to do? To achieve this reconciliation. And what I kind of said, well, you can give me 11 years of my language back. You can't do that. And now you took my culture away from me. And my beliefs. Now, how are you going to help me when you don't know nothing about me? And the rest of them had some questions too. And then I had one more question at the end. And I says, well, how would this sound? I says, just to prove that you're really serious about truth and reconciliation, I says, how many churches are there on Six Nation Reserve? And there's about 10 or 12 of them or something like that on a 10 by 15 a square, 15 miles wide and 10 miles long or something like that. And I says, if you're serious about reconciliation, I says, and that's what it's about, like Christianity and stuff like that. And why don't you, close all the churches down just for 1 year? And, my gosh, I think they almost crucified me right there. They got up there and they said, oh, no, we can't do that, Geronimo, we can't do that. We're going to go broke and like that. Well, I says, it just tells me how serious about truth and reconciliation is. And it's only 365 days. You got the rest of eternity to brainwash us. And then anybody that wants to go to church after that, like the native people on Six Nations, well, let them go to church then. Then it's up to them. And we're not in a residential school now where we're forced to go to church. And then, so they didn't like that. But that's the stuff I've been, going through. Like I said a little while ago, I said I was the guy that started the lawsuit, And I went over, and I don't know how many, I want to thank Jody there for letting me talk. I guess we were talking about that not too long ago, maybe about 100 schools around this area talking about residential school and all the abuses that they forced on us as little children. But, so that's what I'd like to do. But sometimes I just kind of forget about it. But that's what we have to do with truth and reconciliation. And it's up to you people right out there. It's the youth that's going to help make the change, you know, and give us our rights back and honor our treaties and stuff. It's you people, the young generation right now, it's up to you. Because who knows, like maybe one of you out there sitting out there might be the prime minister pretty soon. You know, if you want to take that job on. But you are the law, you know. So, and that's what the government is. The government is the people, expressing the people's voices. So it's up to the government to achieve like true reconciliation, you know, honor our treaties, give us our land back, give us what we deserve. 10% of all the resources that they took off, that Canada's, you know, robbing us, I guess you could say, you know, the native people. That's what they're doing. But yet there's a lot of people that just kind of like this, they don't want to make waves. You know, like they don't want to complain and fight for stuff. But I can't tell you how many times I used to, I'm a protester also. I don't know how many protests I went on to try to save our land and fight the government in different cities to try to get our land back. So, but that's what my message is out there for you young folks. You know, stay positive, stay away from booze and drugs. You know, I'm like your mom and dad, I guess. Yeah. But sometimes, you know, you don't listen to mom and dad, you know. But you might listen to a stranger that's been someplace, that did something. Somebody that you can look up to, you know. And, you know, just stay away from drugs and booze, and, you know, and you're going to do all right. So, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just want to take a moment again to acknowledge Geronimo and all of that wisdom and that experience and those stories that he carries, and had that love to come and share with us today. And it's very important to remember what echoed with me was talking about law. The people are the law. The people influence policy, influence governments. So truth and reconciliation, it really starts with everybody here today. So I want to say thank you. Miigwech.
You are the law. Geronimo Henry. Now, we want to welcome the Quest Indigenous Youth Collective and the Youth Justice Collective to join us on stage. They're going to lead us in a moment of silence. I feel it's appropriate to stand. Please stand.
We want to take a moment of silence for all of the lives lost at the residential schools, for the children who went missing, and for the ones who never made it home.
We want to take a moment of silence to acknowledge the childrenhood that were stolen from survivors, for the children that were impacted by not just the residential school policy, but we want to also offer this moment of silence for the childrenhood and lives and families that were impacted by the day schools, the 60 scoop, by the child welfare policies, and for the ones who are still suffering or working through the immense pain all of these policies have caused.
Oh, Chimigwech, thank you. It was really good because I didn't see the glowing of cell phones or anything like that, so thank you for doing that. Now, I have the extreme pleasure of welcoming Chris Dirksen to the stage.
Can you mute me for 1 second? Mute the DI. Can you mute the DI? Howdy. Sorry about that. Took me a minute to set up. My name is Chris Dirksen, and I'm a cellist and a composer. I am half Cree and half Mennonite from northern Alberta. I like to call myself a Creenanite. And I'm just going to give you one tune. Yeah. This is called Nuheya. Thank you so much.
Keep clapping if you wish you had more.
Okay, I'm a little biased because I'm an artist, but indigenous creativity is at the heart of our nations. To be creative is to be human. It's natural to want to express what's inside of us. We each have our own way of expressing ourselves too. This is a part of our first bundle. Many of us call these gifts. Please, please, make some noise for Chris Dirksen for sharing that beautiful gift with us.
I feel like that was the best thing ever. Please follow Chris Dirksen wherever you listen to music. I know you're going to love everything Chris has to offer. Our next performers are Nimki and the Ninis. This Juno-nominated drum group is led by Nimki Ozwamit, an Anishinaabe Inene from Wikwemikong. You know what to do. Put your hands together for Nimki and the Ninis. This really is not fair. It's a snapshot of some of the best talent today. Give it up one more time for Nimki and the Ninis. All of your teachers were given a program guide. So all of our performers are shared in this guide. You can follow their socials. For the musicians, you can find their music. I really encourage you to keep following these artists. They're some of our greatest shining stars, and we're so lucky to have them today with us here. So that's what I have to say about that. Yeah, thank you. I love clapping. The Quest Indigenous Youth Council and the Youth Justice Collective are going to come back on stage. These are some prime examples of leaders of today, your peers.
They are here to tell us about their vision for this land that nourishes us and what inspires them most. Another round of applause, please.
Segoli, Ngawale Datsteni Angiats, Okoli Nivigidalod, Onyota Aga Nahonashon, Mississauga no Taganageg. My name is Austin Christian. I am my spirit name is Gawale Datste, which means strong wind in the Oneida language. I'm Bear Clan, and I'm from Oneida of the Thames First Nation. I want to first welcome friends, family, educators, and fellow students. Today I stand here as the first Indigenous student trustee of the Peel District School Board, and I am honored beyond words. Growing up, I struggled to find my place in the education system. I felt like my culture, my identity, and my experiences were erased from the curriculum. But I was lucky to have mentors at Manjading Wangashking, community leaders, and family members who saw me, heard me, and most of all, believed in me. Now it's my turn to pay it forward. To the non-Indigenous student body, I look forward to your questions as you embark on your own learning journey. To my fellow Indigenous students, I see you, I hear you, and I believe in you. You deserve an education that makes you proud of who you are, where you've come from, and who you're becoming. Yaogo, thank you.
Ani, Bojo, Ashkrewas, Dishnakas, Mississauga, Donjiba, Mohawk, and Dow, and Gitchin and Dam Yaya, Mompi, Wigon, and Gook. Hi everyone, my name is Bailey Klein, and I'm the Indigenous Student Trustee for the Dufferin Peel Catholic District School Board. And I'm so happy to be here with you all today and speak to you. Over the last 3 years, I've learned so many things about my culture that I would have never had the opportunity to learn without programs offered for Indigenous students by my board. Before I entered high school, I did not know anything about my culture, which is why I'm so grateful for the opportunities that were provided to me. This is part of the reason why I wanted to become the Indigenous Student Trustee for my school board. I want all Indigenous students to have the opportunity to learn and engage in their culture like I did. I want to help educate others that work in the school board that Indigenous people are still here, that we deserve respect, and should be provided space without barriers and every opportunity to reclaim language and culture. Miigwech, thank you. you want to hold my hand while you speak? Come on, let's speak. Come on, Dakota, don't cover your face.
Sorry, I'm just shy.
Dakota, don't cover your face. Here we go. Dakota,
Hello, everyone. My name is Dakota Osborne, and I am First Nation, Mi'kmaq, and Irish and Italian. And I wanted to read this message to you all. I really love spending my time creating vibrant art masterpieces. My artwork that I create helps me feel more relaxed and braver and confident. My artwork shows a lot of nice colors. I really like creating landscape artwork. I really like drawing beach and ocean landscapes, and I really like drawing forest and jungle landscapes. With all of my artwork that I create, I feel like I almost create stories that can go along with it. If I didn't have the chance to do art, I'd feel very sad and very bored, because what would I do without art? Art is just simply the best. When I get to do my art, I feel so happy. The materials I like to work with are sculpting with modeling clay, painting with lots of paint, drawing animated teenage girls with pencils on sketchbook papers, and creating artwork that comes straight from my heart. My very favorite colors are green, and my very favorite colors are pink. I am full of wonderful, amazing cultures, and that is what makes me super duper unique. I love artwork. Artwork is the best subject ever. When I create my artwork, it makes me feel so happy, and whenever I am feeling down, I switch all the downness to the happy feelings. The reasons as to why I love artwork so much is because artwork has so much vibrant colors. Art is the best. It is amazing to be First Nation. Being First Nation teaches us so many amazing types of facts and things about how First Nation cultures are all about. And I just wanted to say to you all, miigwech, all so much for listening to my speeches. Miigwech.
Weren't they so amazing? They all have something to say, and you're going to have to stay tuned because we still have so much to share with you. Please give them all one more big round of applause.
Thank you. Miigwech. Okay, has anybody ever heard this? That laughter is medicine? Anybody? Raise your hands. Actually, it doesn't matter if you raise your hands. I can't really see you because of the lights. Ha ha! I was always told that, especially growing up on the Chippewas and Nawash, that laughter is medicine. With humor, we can, as a community, keep somebody in check if they're too gassed up or their ego has gone awry. Humor is such a wonderful medium or tool to express storytelling when the themes might be a little hard. It can help get things off of our heart and off of our good mind. Sometimes when I just laugh, I just feel better after. It's like something's at work.
Yeah, well, I'm going to gas up our next performer. We'd like to welcome Dakota Ray Hebert. She's a Dene actor. You may know her from Marvel's Echo, Run Woman Run, or Shelved, just to name a few. Stand by, this is long. She's also a director and a comedian from Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan, and she just opened her own comedy club in Saskatoon with her husband. Dakota is the funniest person that I've ever met. I'm so excited to call her my friend, but I'm even more excited that she took the time to be here today. Listen, I could go on and on and on. I love you so much. Put your hands for Dakota!
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Niall. Round of applause for the speakers you saw before me, please. Wasn't that lovely? Okay, all right. I hope I'm funny, right? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, thank you, right there. Look at that, I'm nailing it, right? Crushing. I do hope I'm funny. I make no guarantees, though. I like to say that I just want to make that clear. I'm not the government. I don't make promises I can't keep. Oh my God. What a burn on the government. Wouldn't want to be them right now, right? Or ever. I just want to also start off by saying normally I'm not a particularly clean comic, so I'm very nervous about doing this set. I've kind of gone through my stuff. What I usually do in my sets is I roast many of the governments and racism. Thank you, yes. I talk about my experiences as a person with a uterus and becoming a parent. My most recent set dissects religion and organ donation. I'm pro-organ donation. But I wanted to make things comfortable for the school. This is kind of be like a PG-13, 14A set, and you're going to learn about history, a little bit of geography, maybe some health. It's either going to be a wonderful bonding experience with your teachers or the bane of their existence. All right, okay, a little bit about me. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Little bit about me. My mom is Native, and my dad is a cowboy. Uh-oh. Ooh. How'd that happen? The bar. And I grew up, with that inner conflict as well, right? Am I right, Cowboys, Indians? But it was also, I'm not even joking though, my dad is a cowboy. I did the rodeo stuff with my old man as a kid. I rode sheeps in the rodeo as a teenager. I ran for rodeo queen. As an adult, I volunteered at the setup and teardown. What I'm trying to get at is one of my pronouns is she-haw. That's in the industry, that's known as a hack joke. I'm going to teach you some terminology. I say one of my pronouns, my other pronouns are she, her, they, them, he, him. I make the joke, you can call me anything, just don't call me late for dinner, right? That's important. That's a hack joke too, you don't have to laugh at that one. I'm Dene of English River First Nation, but I didn't grow up on my reserve. I grew up in the town of Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan, more specifically the trailer park. But I don't call them trailer parks. I call them the white man's reserve. Because they're kind of the same thing, right? Just, with clean drinking water. That's another burn on the government. We're thirsty, right? We'd take Nestle at this point, right? That's a burn on Nestle. Okay, all right. I got made fun of for being from the trailer park, but that's fine. I'm comfortable with who I am. I made fun of for being butch. Anybody here get made fun of for being butch? Oh yeah, all right, I like that. Yeah, I got called things in high school like butch, man, girl, and lesbotron 3000. Remember when Brandon called us that? I do. But then I moved to the city and I realized, okay, maybe I'm not a Lesbotron 3000, but I'm not a Lesbotron 1000. What am I? And I learned about Two-Spirit. And Two-Spirit is when you walk in the masculine world and the feminine world. And I thought that was really interesting and really, really powerful because that was a piece of who I am. And then it got me thinking that, I want to see more Two-Spirit things in the world. Like instead of feminine hygiene products, I want to see masculine hygiene products. You know what I mean? I don't want floral pads and stuff. I want pads called manly things like strip loin, right? Sheet metal, shop vac. It's for the noise. A little bit more about me. I was recently diagnosed with ADHD. What? You? That's crazy. No way. I know. Who'd have thunk it? Is anyone else here crazy? Right on. Okay, for you crazies out there, clap if you are medicated. Like it. Good to hear. Good to hear. Clap if you're just friggin' winging it. All right. Your teachers have their hands full. All right. I'm medicated now. I'm team medication. It's been amazing for my mental health and well-being. I love it. Team Vyvanse. I will bootlick Vyvanse till I die. Yeah. You know what? It's so funny. When I was in school, all of our teachers told us to say no to drugs, but I need Vyvanse in the morning to fill out forms. All right, you guys? Sometimes the doctor knows what's up. I got some toxic family members, though, some toxic family and friends. They say things like, oh, Dakota, you're just going to do what they say. You're just going to listen to Big Pharma. You're just going to take their pills. Aren't you worried it's going to change you? And I'm like, I sure friggin' hope so. Right? Please? It'd be nice to wake up in the morning and not panic when I make coffee, right? And that's important for you. If any ADHDers, they know what I'm talking about when I talk about that. Neurotypical people, you wake up in the morning and you think, oh, I should make some coffee. And then you probably just go make coffee. When you're ADHD, you wake up and you think, I should make some coffee. And then you start to think some more and you go, oh, actually, that means I got to get out of bed and put on pants and go down the stairs and let the dogs out and let the dogs back in. And I got to feed them. And then I got to go to the coffee pot and take out the old filter, dump that in the garbage, put a new one in, put some new coffee in there, take out the old pot from yesterday, empty that out, put some new water in. And you know what? I'm just going to stay in bed. That's what happens. But when you wake up and you start your day with 40 milligrams of Vyvanse, you don't need coffee. All right. Vyvancers know what's up. I'm really excited to be out and about of the trailer park and chasing my dreams. It was a big deal moving from Saskatchewan and seeing parts of Canada. And when I was first in Ottawa, I landed in Ottawa, and that was exciting. Getting from the airport to the actual city was exciting because in the ditch, there was a shirtless man with a guitar strapped to his back, and he was actively evading the police. Yeah. And my friend was like, that's so metal. And I said, no, I think it's acoustic. Mom joke. Someone just got it? Oh, the guitar. I had this hat that I liked to wear, but it caused so much conflict that I eventually stopped wearing it. But I thought it was really funny. It was this red hat that said, "Make America Native Again." Spicy, right? But the problem was that racists wouldn't finish reading it. So this one time I was in Regina and I was outside before a comedy show, and this woman looked at my hat and looked at me, and she went, "Whoa, Trump!" And I was like, oh no, there's 4 words, you missed one. Please read it again. And she did, and she looked at me and she said, okay, what, so we're just all supposed to leave? And I said, maybe just you. Kind of a jerk. I got the light, though. I want to leave you on that. Thank you so much. Have a great day. I'm Dakota Ray.
So, are you guys big fans now too? Yeah! You should follow her. She's super funny on all her socials. So, Basil Johnson said, traditionally, we've always been contemporary people. And you don't have to look too far, especially anymore, to see how creative we all are. People of this land are as dynamic as all of humanity. And as you can see, we are at the pulse of each day and at the pulse of each moment. We want to thank everyone for coming out today to be a part of this moment. Yeah, give it up for yourselves. We want to thank everyone who helped make this happen. There are tons of people behind the scenes working their magic on every detail. Give it up for all of the performers and speakers you've seen. Give it up for Niall.
Give it up for Zoe.
That was fun.
This event is an example of how teamwork matters and how everybody's role is so important. And today, this event wouldn't be complete without our final performer, Samaya. She's Ghanaian Gaka, I butchered that word, I'm Ojibwe, that's Haudenosaunee, sorry, pop singer and producer with a passion for making the moment matter.
We want to give Samaya's team a moment to set up. So before we ask you to get the loudest you've ever been, I wanted to hear from you. When you think about reconciliation, what comes to mind? You put your hands up. No pressure.
Cue the host lights.
All right, yeah, let's do that. Yell at us. Get loud. Get loud about what? I mean, come on. Listen, so many people have poured their hearts out to you. Told you everything that they represent, everything that they stand for, everything that they know. When you think about reconciliation, what comes to mind? A learning journey. To give power to Indigenous people. The history. Amazing. Resilience. Amazing. Are we good? All right. It looks like we're ready to go. Are you guys ready? Put your hands together for
Samaya.
find something new in a long time. I reach for my keys under neon signs. You call me strange, you don't know a thing about me. I love being alone, wanna pass through. I can't be someone no one thought they knew. You call me strange, out of my mind. You call me strange, you don't know a thing about me. I can't get used to being a stranger. I can be anyone I wanted to be when nobody knows. do everything myself, so I made this music video. I also do a lot of illustration. The animation I did myself, so I do a lot of these things and it takes a lot of time, so I ended up postponing the music video release. But you guys are going to have some sneak peeks today, and we actually have the star of the music video here. We have Monty as the villain, and it's based on Charlie's Angels. Does anyone watch that? Yeah! So it's loosely based on Charlie's Angels, and yeah, this song is called Withdrawals. And just kind of thinking about like, not everything that feels good is good for you. This
to your teachers. You got anything else to say? Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the atrium.
Let's talk about the atrium. It needs to be addressed.
There's going to be a performer. Samaya is going to join you in the atrium. There's an opportunity to take photos. She has some merch. I know she was throwing out t-shirts. She has some merch. Dakota Ray Heaver is also out in the atrium. She's going to have merch as well. She has vinyl, stickers. So you can meet the performers out in the atrium, take pictures, have tons of fun. Bye, everyone.
Dances now. You do not need a regalia to get out there and shake what your mama gave you. We got a sick beat coming from classic roots. In their tribal time, hey!